This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And a lot has happened. We picked a good day.
Yeah, we haven't actually recorded the day after, or well, this is hours after a tournament, not even like same day ending. So we always get to it a couple days later. So it's fresh in our minds.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. And there's a little bit of controversy in the sport, finally. Just a little one. It's not that big of a deal. So
we name that we've brought up a couple times.
We won't talk that much about it, I'm sure. So once again, YouTube's up and running. Door Disc Golf. It is findable now. I did some research and put a little time into whatever the algorithm-ish thing is. So it's searchable and findable now. Still not great because we don't have a lot of followers. We don't have a lot of views.
Yeah.
So Door Disc Golf on YouTube. Just look up YouTube Door Disc Golf on Google, or just go on YouTube and look up Door Disc Golf. You get a lot of those foundation guys videos first.
Yeah.
Because it says disc golf in it, and somehow they've dominated the disc golf
Interesting.
market.
Okay.
Not somehow.
They are, yeah.
So, but their videos are good. Go watch them. They're awesome. Door_disc_golf. Night_owl_pod are our Instagram handles. And then doordisc.com. So is our shop. We have all kinds of stuff. We give a shop update at the end of the podcast, but go on there and order something. And we'll probably start another little incentive to order here pretty soon. So, and Facebook has been kicking off pretty good for us recently too. People have been buying all kinds of stuff from Facebook.
Oh,
our
nice.
little shop on Facebook.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot more discs being posted on like the storefront on there, whatever it is. I don't follow that closely, like stuff on Facebook, but I see store stuff popping up. Yeah.
So slowly but surely, we're turning things around. We're stepping into the big leagues here. So, how do you feel about assessments?
Assessments?
It's a lot of S's.
What are you assessing?
Just assessments in general. I'll get a little more granular once you just say how you feel about assessments.
They're okay, I guess. Yeah, like, it's funny because, like, you know, you go on to, like, in groups, and it's always like, hey, what's this price check? What's this disc worth? I mean, the biggest assessment that, I've encountered is, like, someone coming to assess the house. Right? You know, that happens every so often. You get someone coming over to appraise how much your house is worth or something, or you assess how much your car is worth when you're trying to sell it back, sell it off, or what it's worth after you're done leasing it or whatever. So, I mean, it's a part of life.
Yeah. What do you think about personality profile assessments?
I don't think I've ever done one.
Really?
Nope, I've never done one.
Never done like a Myers-Briggs, a Six Geniuses.
Nope.
Really?
No.
Like highly effective habits.
I don't think any of my habits are highly effective.
I would agree with that statement on my side too. So the reason I bring it up, and it does tie into Nico, he's going to be the topic of the night, is there are certain personality assessments out there that say, hey, there are certain volatile situations and ways that things can be brought up that would set someone off. Based on your personality, these are some ways that you can go about trying to control your habits, and based on someone else's personality, this is the way you can approach them. Do you think it would behoove the PDGA to make sure that officials are up on how to effectively approach an individual?
Goodness. I don't think it's an official's job to okay, how do I put it? It's not an official's job to judge the character of or judge a person's character at all. So, like, you don't know how to, you can't tell, like, obviously you can tell, like, someone's scoring a bad round, but you don't know how that affects them. Like, if they're just, like, stone-faced like Calvin, like, or, maybe someone like Nico. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, you can tell an official how to maybe effectively go about doing something, but you still don't know how that person's going to react either way. So, yeah, I mean, it's not, even if you approach them in a way that's friendly or anything, you still might get that blowback no matter what. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It just goes because I use a lot of assessments when building teams, and not a lot. I use selectively. I use 3 different assessments.
Okay.
And they all profile different things. And when I use those, it helps me to help someone understand, and it also helps someone to understand me. So when we do these assessments within the workplace, it's easier because they're small groups. We don't do any groups over 12.
okay.
You know, we make them intimate. You create a very vulnerable atmosphere. You know, I mean, there's a lot of parameters that you have to set. So,
Sure.
you know, the guide of me saying that was just more of, man, if anyone ever acted like that, if I was telling them, giving a corrective action, like they'd be instantly out of my team. Excuse me. And with that, you know, standing on the PDGA side, I'd be like, man, you are instantly off the tour, you know, or a tour card, especially a tour card holding person. Like, incredible. Is this technically a major?
Yeah.
So Eagle won a major. So that means Tyler and I did not lose $50.
I'm in
each
that
to
either,
Jordan.
yeah.
And you, right?
Right.
Oh, Jordan owes us money.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I'll just have Jordan give my money to Tyler. Anyway, so yeah, so that's all I was thinking about with the assessment. So, so what'd you buy? Thrower, hanger, or flipper?
I bought 2 European Open fundraiser FD3s, Metal Flake FDD, the new FD3s. I talked about them possibly coming out soon, so those were released. And then today I bought 2 vapor essences from the Discmania European store.
Really?
Yeah. So those were brand new. Those were also fundraiser discs. So
And they're vapor, like DD molded, or are they?
I don't know if they're the DD. They just said vapor, Lux Vapor essences. So I'm assuming
Okay.
it's still the Latitude
Still
stuff because that's who was making the essence before. So
Great.
yeah, and that's the first time I've seen it in the Lux plastic. So I'm pretty excited about that too.
Awesome.
And those will probably be throwers. I'll have like a Meta or the Zen, and then one of those, and one of the Meta tilts or Meta essences as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't buy anything this week, actually. I have been just busy. And all things that I could have made time for and done, but I've been really prioritizing some other things. And then we had quite a few people call out of the restaurant in
okay.
multiple successions of days. And I've been trying not to call other people in to cover shifts. We've just been covering them because we're able to at this point. So that was a bit rough. So that kind of handicapped my ability to play. But also, I think I've come down with a case of sciatica.
Sciatica?
Yeah, it's like a nerve issue in the back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you just kind of mentioned something about that last week.
Yeah, so I'm going officially to the doctor this week to get more of an official diagnosis of what's going on. But yeah, I'll just randomly go to stand up and collapse, and like my leg will give out like where my back is,
Yeah.
and it usually comes after a hard day. Like I poured a cement slab, all the things you do as a business owner. I poured like a 3x10 cement slab, and just being bent over quite a bit. And imagine a sidewalk, like 3 sections of a sidewalk.
Yeah,
That's basically what it was. But being bent over, and I had to hand mix all the cement.
Okay.
So just overworked it. Came home, sat down on the couch. I couldn't stand back up. Like physically could not stand back up. So had to like ibuprofen and then ice and heat, and then finally it loosened up enough to where I could stand back up. Never had any issues like that before in my life. So
Dang.
that was weird. Yeah. So and Ledgestone is coming up, so that motivated me to go to the doctor.
Okay.
It's like I'm not missing Ledgestone. So we'll see how that goes. But I officially did not buy anything. I did, well, I guess disc golf wise, I did buy some shoes. I bought some On Clouds. So there's all these different levels of On Clouds, which On Clouds, they have like a tubular sole.
Interesting.
Really cool looking shoes. Well, they're different looking shoes, but they're kind of on the Hoka or Hookah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kind of on that realm where they're real supportive, have good, but in essence, they're Nike Shox. But with a little more engineering, I guess, put into them. Really awesome. Nice shoes. So that's the only thing I bought. And I bought ones that had lateral support in the way they were designed so I could play disc golf.
Oh, cool.
To make sure that I'm not going to blow out the sides. All right. So the preview, we're going to talk about Nico. Why? And then if we get to it, we'll do a listener bag. Just depending on how long this Nico thing takes us. We'll talk about the European Open for sure. We do have a random question, and then I'll give some shop updates. So it's a pretty light episode as far as the multitude of topics, but they're going to be pretty hard hitting. So let's go over the European Open first.
Okay.
The European Open just finished. Like, just finished. What a great. I love watching the players go over there, and especially when Paul McBeth shows up. Just incredible.
Yeah.
But this is the first time Paul McBeth has ever lost the European Open since 2012?
2013?
Yeah.
2000. Yeah.
Well, they do it every 2 or 3 years or something like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think it hasn't happened in 3 years.
Yeah. So
2019, it was the last. But 5 in a row. Mm-hmm. That's what I saw.
Yeah, and that's incredible. I mean, the play was spectacular. By 2 guys.
Right.
And there was a distance between second and third.
16 strokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Incredible. So
it's one of those courses, too, where if it wasn't for the incredible play, probably that Kevin Jones 25 down could have probably won it.
Right, because that's an impressive score. And
it is.
I mean, that just goes to show you that Kevin Jones at 25 down was in third. Paul McBeth was at 41 down.
Yeah.
So he was averaging 10 down a day, basically, through the 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And then Eagle McMahon just barely squeaks it out with a 42.
Yeah.
So he played 1 stroke better, took over the lead. Basically, what was it, 16 or something like that? He took it over, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Oh man. Well, I was gonna say what happened. I forgot what hole it was. McBeth and Eagle both went out of bounds. McBeth by 2 inches. Mm-hmm. I think it was that hole 16?
I think that was hole 16.
Yeah, that was crazy because everybody on the card pretty much didn't throw that well. I think maybe Kevin Jones was the only one that. And then that Chandler or Kramer.
Yeah, I don't remember how to say it. Yeah.
But yeah, he was playing. He was the surprise on the lead card. Mm-hmm. I'd never really heard of him before. I was like, oh, he's sponsored by Lone Star. That's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm, and he's from Texas. He's playing in. He was playing collegiate disc golf, I think, for Texas A&M. If I understood that right, I kind of did a little research, a little digging around. But and he was surprising. I think he fell off, and Nicholas Antilla bumped up in front of him into 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool too.
But the feature card was all American.
Right, and then the chase card was all Finns.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, because with the way it
and
looked.
then I had heard that they made a huge deal out of it on Finnish news.
Oh, okay.
So there was record crowds at this.
There always
final.
is.
Yeah.
Always is.
It's pretty awesome
incredible.
to see.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to see.
And that course is everybody talks about it being one of the best courses in the world and all that. And it's funny because you watch it and I'm not super impressed with the visual of it. But everybody talks about it, that it is the best course there is. Because you think about some of the courses they play here in the US, visually they're stunning. You can tell they're hard. You can,
Yeah.
And that's visually stunning. It's a beautiful course, but you can't really tell how hard it is.
They made a someone made a comment. I don't know if it was Brian Earhart or I think it was Brian Earhart. He was talking about a couple holes, playing them 2 days as par 3s and 2 days as par 4s, just to kind of maybe make it a little more challenging or even it out.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It is a visually stunning course, but they just make it look really easy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It just doesn't look as challenging, especially when you're shooting 42 down. Right.
Right. Well, and you think of Northwoods Black. And these are 2 completely different courses, but Northwoods Black, they go out there and play it, and they're playing still in double-digit unders. And then you look at like a mere mortal, like 66 over was a 940-something rated round.
That's
like,
ridiculous.
66 over.
Yeah.
You're not finding birdies out there.
No.
Like that's incredible. So that's probably the same thing with this one. Like every mere mortal is going to play it at like double digits over par.
Right.
As opposed to these guys playing double digits.
Which is what we
par.
saw. Well, the women finished at double digits over par, but there was definitely Cat Merch day one was +4 for the round. I don't remember where she ended
finished
up
like 5th or 6th.
Okay. So, I mean, and then, Paige finished +12. So, difficult for the women. For sure.
But a 53 stroke difference between the men and the women. Yeah. Like the men's top finisher and the women's top finisher. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. So we'll go over the winners. So Eagle took it down at 42 under, Paul at 41 under, and then Jones at 25 under. I don't want to say it too early, but Paul and Eagle being back just makes my heart warm.
Yeah, it does. An Eagle playing on one arm, essentially.
Exactly. And throwing lefty effectively, like super effectively. And he makes it look like anybody else can do it, like he's out there just like easily throwing casually a 400-foot left hand. Like,
right.
Just incredible.
That's crazy because, he took a lot of time off. Hadn't seen him since Jonesboro. He did I forgot who he was filming with, but, he did that 360, like, forearm.
That was a
forehand. Jomas? Yeah. And, took a lot of time getting back to where he was. He had thanked a lot of people at the end for helping him get back to where he was. And it was kind of cool, too, it being a Discmania sponsored event, like, UC handed him over the check and like the champagne, gave him a big hug at the end. Simon gave him a big hug at the end. It was awesome to see.
What was the payout for that?
I don't know. I didn't see the actual check. It was like backwards, so I didn't get to see what it was.
Sure.
It was cool.
That's awesome. And it was the big cardboard check.
Yeah. Happy Gilmore style.
I love that, man. I would love one of those one day. All right. So the ladies, Pierce at 12 over, Salonen at 15 over, and Blumroos at 20 over. I didn't watch any of the FPO coverage. Did you get a feeling whether Evelina, whether Salonen or Blumroos, they're kind of back to form?
Evelina definitely like gave Paige a little push. I didn't get to see too much of it. I watched a little bit of the first round, but they were on so early in the morning that it's like I barely woke up this morning to see like the men's. Like I was out late last night with Dempsey. We were at a soccer match, and I woke up this morning. I was like, I gotta turn on disc golf.
Yeah,
and but I don't know. It seemed like I'm not surprised that they played well, considering that were adjusted. Being back, being home, feeling comfortable. Like that doesn't surprise me at all that they played well.
No. There's definitely a advantage to home court. I mean, there's definitely an advantage. So when they come here, I bet you they're a little more at a disadvantage. I'm disappointed. Yes, it's maybe not a topic, but it is a topic in my mind. I'm sad that Tatar didn't, participate.
She was too, from what she's disappointed, but she's like, I'm still, listening to my body, figuring everything out. But I'm not surprised that Paige took this down at all. No. I know she took some time off before coming here, like she didn't play. And then like they always say like whenever she like kind of has time off to like clear her mind, she always dominates, and she kind of did that before the Champions Cup, before then. And then, did we talk at all? I mean, like, just in that little bit of Wednesday, did we talk at all about the President's Cup?
Not at all.
No, I didn't. No, but I mean, U.S. took it down pretty.
Yeah,
easily.
pretty handily, undefeated.
Yeah,
has never won. I thought with now Tatar could have made a difference, but not a difference to win.
Right.
It would have just made it a bit closer. But outside of that, like, I thought with Lazat, the way he's been working, but the pairings seemed to be very lopsided. And just because of the subpar play or the sub expectation that Paul McBattle been playing, he was paired with somebody that really stood no chance.
Right.
I forgot his name.
I heard who it was, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, good player,
Right.
You're a good European player, but not on Paul McBeth's magnitude.
Right,
You know,
right.
I mean, so you had a lot of lopsided matches, but super happy U.S. brought it down. I would love to see the President's Cup come back to the U.S. once. Because it was played, I want to say it was like 7. No, it wasn't 17. It was like 13 or something like that. It was played in the U.S.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was back a while.
Yeah.
It was played in the U.S., but the only time it was ever played in the U.S. I'd like to see it come, like, kind of flop back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I'm liking the rumors of UC putting in a bid for 24 Worlds in Europe.
That'd be cool.
I would like to see that. So I think it's cool because I think you're starting to see the Europeans, the level of play of the Europeans coming up. You're seeing the amount of money that players are being paid come up. You're seeing the support from the manufacturers and their sponsors becoming more and more. So I think now it's getting to a point where it's going to be doable. You know, before when they tried the World Tour, right? Is it World Tour?
Yeah.
Before, when the Pro Tour and the World Tour were going simultaneously, the World Tour, it was just too early because there was no money to travel back and forth.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to get there. And if there's 1 or 2 tournaments a year like this that they can go over for, I think it's awesome. I think it's going to work out really well. So I hope they get it.
Well, and Ford being a sponsor of the tournament, that was pretty huge. I mean, Ford definitely has a, you know, I don't know if it's a separate division, like, you know, like they have the European, like there's always European models, cars and stuff. So, just seeing that division there, like, whoa, that's a major sponsor. That's pretty epic.
It is. It seems surprising that they would sponsor something like that because what do they get out of it? These disc golfers aren't going to buy cars.
Yeah.
You know, is it just exposure? Is it just like...
Because, I don't know. Because, like, on the back of the President's Cup jerseys had Ford written all over it. So that's, I mean, and then you see a couple cars here and there out on the course or, you know, whatever. But, oh, shoot. What was it? I think it was Ezra was, like, teeing off on hole 1, and he hit one of the banners, and his disc ricocheted into the car.
Oh, yeah. I did see a clip of that. It was like a GIF that someone did. Did you see the other guy that was playing that? And I think that was during the European tour, where he went running up and just absolutely directly into the crowd.
That was Ezra as well, I think.
No, it wasn't Ezra.
It wasn't?
That wasn't
Ezra.
Ezra.
I thought it was.
It was a European
I saw him slip and then just,
He just launches it straight into the crowd. Maybe that was Ezra, but that was a bad throw.
Yeah.
Like, you see the whole crowd just like duck.
Yeah, someone definitely got it. Like, you know, 60, 70 mile an hour disc coming at you.
Oh, man. That had to hurt. And he just turns around, like, whoever it was just turns around in complete disgust. Like, I can't believe this just happened.
Yeah.
So European Open, I mean, awesome. I was able to watch just a very little bit of it. I was doing some menu programming for a new POS system we're getting in the restaurant. And at the same time, I had a window open with it going at the... But I was only able to watch, like, 3 holes. So But for the most part, I was keeping up on UDisc Live.
Yeah, that's the same as me. That's what I was keeping up most of my time.
Yeah, so... All right. Anything else to say about the European Open?
No, it's just, I mean, I'm so glad Eagle McMahon won.
I know.
I'm really glad Eagle.
That was a $150 win for us.
Well, yeah, split.
Yeah,
but
split.
Yeah. If you listen to like one of the earliest episodes, I think we talked about like a bunch of bets that we had going on between all of us, and Eagle winning. The bet was that Eagle wouldn't win on tour at all this year. And
yes.
It's kind of nice to just have that happen.
Exactly. Yeah, he said he wouldn't win. It was either...
I
think it was a major... No, he said
DGPT event.
Yeah, event at all.
And then it was worrisome because he went down. We didn't know when he was coming back. And
and we all thought he was just crazy because like, to say that Eagle's not going to win again, we're like, whatever. And this was Jordan, by the way, that said this. But it's kind of a wash for me now because I'm going to take the 50 from Jordan and give it to Tyler because I said that Brody would end
top 10
in the end of the season.
Where's he right now?
He's in the 40s, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that was a DGPT ranking. So, hey, there's still hope. You never know. He could go off. He could go ham. Brody wasn't doing too bad into the 3rd round, and then he must have fallen. No, 16th.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I mean, not bad at all.
Cashing in Europe.
Yeah. He finished over Proctor, Conrad, Oakley, Humphreys, Barsby. and then some of the Europeans, which I don't know, no notable names in my mind. Carlson.
Okay.
So he finished all those, but he finished overall 13 under. So good for him.
All right.
I'm happy for
Respectable.
him. Yep. So I'm happy for him because it pushes him that much closer to being into the top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm down with it. All right. Let's get into the ridiculousness here.
Ooh.
So Nico, for those of you that don't know, what rock have you been hiding under? And he acted like Nico, as Nico acted. So what happened is an official came up to him, showed him a phone that had over his time limit for shot count, called him on a time violation, and from there, Nico became just ridiculous, very super confrontational, kind of tried like an intimidation factor, like he was trying to intimidate the dude, doing this weird thing, like stepped up into his face and then says, "Step back from me," and then as the guy steps back, he goes, "Stop looking at me," and then proceeds to try to get in front of the guy.
Yeah.
And says, "We got a problem," and just super confrontational, like wanted to fight. I don't know if he wanted to fight, but all indications pointed that way. And this went on for, it was about 40 seconds or so, once the guy called it. So, I mean, on live broadcast.
Right.
All the announcers were baffled.
Yeah, so I had heard that they were sending cameras to that card because of Kramer. Like, he was getting hot at the time, so they sent one over.
And I think Kevin was as well.
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense. And yeah, so they just sent one over and just took all, was filming whatever, and then this happened, and they're like, same like you said, like, oh my God, I can't believe we got this.
It was like a train wreck. I was trying to explain it to, it was one of those things where before we got on it, I hated watching it. It made me feel sick to my stomach, but I couldn't stop watching it. And there's no mystery to how I feel about Nico. I like him. Well, I liked him. I thought he was good for the sport. I thought his little outrage, his little like blow ups, they were all within acceptable parameters.
Sure. Yeah.
When he officially became hostile towards that tournament official for doing his job, and some will argue that every sport has this, not like that.
No.
Not like that.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh no, it was weird too because when the official approached him with the phone, I don't know what the official like said. I don't think he said time violation right away because he called him out, and then Nico goes, "Why?" Like in his face, he's like, "Why?" And then he goes, "Time violation." He's like, "You're taking too much." And then like from there, it was like it's on like Donkey Kong.
No, he walked up and said, "I'm sorry, I have to," or he didn't say I'm sorry. He goes, "You got a penalty," or I'm like, basically, you violated this. Okay. It's a time violation. And he goes, "Why?" And he goes, "Because you got a time violation." Why? And then he stepped into his face.
I didn't hear that it's clearly him saying time violation. I just heard like, I thought he said, "You're penalized," and he goes, "Why?" And then he goes, "You took too much time." Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Like, because he was putting his disc away when he said it, and Nico then immediately stands up, takes like 2 steps forward, gets right in the official's face, puts his hands behind his back, and is right in this guy's face. And then the guy's just kind of standing there, like, and he's recoiled a bit, like
I thought
he's
he was
leaning
spit
back
on him or something. Like I thought he was like ready to get like do something.
Yeah. So the official kind of gets back. He's like leaned back, like, why is this dude in my face? And then Nico starts to go, "Get out of my face. Take a step back." Not get out of my face. He says, "Take a step back."
Yeah.
It just, overall, it was a bad look.
Oh,
like a horrible look.
And then to follow him down the fairway a little bit.
Yeah. If the confrontation would have ended there, I might have been like, okay, he stopped himself. Right. He didn't. But he chased, at least 20 yards.
Yeah.
At least.
Something like that.
Maybe even further, like chased him down the fairway, not chased him, but walked side
No,
by
but
side, BSing, like, and then stopped the dude, like, got in front of him and stopped him. Like, it's not great.
Yeah, I guess that's like the clips that I saw. That's kind of where it ended. Like, I didn't see anything else beyond that. I don't know if, someone on the card should have stepped in and like maybe separated it somehow. I don't know. I think what I heard is TD was like called into the situation, but I didn't see him there at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wild.
So I did a little digging afterwards, and then did you jump onto Instagram?
Yeah, I was. I did get on Instagram a little later. Yeah.
Okay. So it was. I don't know when it was posted, but did you see his apology post?
I did see it. Yeah, Tyler, I think posted it into the group, and then like after he had like messaged us, I kind of went back and like looked at it a little bit.
Okay. So was it genuine?
I don't know. The whole part about disc golf is a family, like yada yada yada. I mean, actions regrettable, but sincere, I don't think so, because I still don't think that he thought he was wrong for really doing it.
Agreed. I don't believe there was true. I don't think he was truly sorry, because there is a difference between sorry and regret. Being sorry for something means you're going to try to correct it. It won't happen again. You actually genuinely felt sorry for what happened and how it went down.
Yeah.
Being regretful is, I just got kicked out of this tournament for my action. Dang, I'm real regretful for that.
Right. Yeah.
There's no, in that, that's why I just genuinely don't feel that he is sorry for his action. I genuinely feel that he is regretful of his action. Because I think, given the opportunity again, he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to change.
I don't think so either.
Unless he takes some true actions forward. So let's talk about the PDGA and the possibility of what other actions could come to, or what other penalty could come to Nico. So he was kicked out of the European Open for this incident on hole 18. He got kicked out. So they DNF'd him or disqualified him. So Bradley Williams, I want to make a correction too. I was wrong. Bradley Williams didn't shoulder a guy. He kicked a basket over.
Oh, okay.
Is what he ended up doing. He like yelled at it and like flipped it off and then kicked a basket over. So that's how Bradley Williams got an 18-month suspension. So PDGA states that an act of intimidation is a minimum of 24-month suspension and a 12-month probation after they come back.
Oh, wow.
Do you think that's proper and okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You should probably go through anger management as well.
Agreed. Yeah, that was part of what Bradley Williams had to do.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's the rule is 24 months, you got to serve it. I mean, my guess is he might try to appeal at some point.
I'm sure he will.
Or ask for a lighter probation.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure he will. I think one of the things that I was disappointed with, and this has no judgment on character for Nico, for the individuals that said stuff, but I saw some pros come to his defense in Instagram. Like,
okay.
I know you didn't mean it. It's okay. It's not okay. That is not okay what he did.
No.
And for a pro, and sadly, it's one of the pros, not sadly, but it was a pro that I really respect. And for him to say that, I think it comes from a very good place, like more of encouraging, like, you'll get through this. But it was like, I know you're a good guy. You'll get through this. Like, no, he's not a good guy, or else he wouldn't have done that. I mean, he's still a good guy. Like, I can't make judgment on his character for that.
But I don't know who on tour like he's friends with or like interacts with a lot or anything, but like someone's got to get to him. Like, right. Someone has to talk to him about this behavior and what it's doing for him and for the sport. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing to see it on live coverage, but
it is.
At the same time, it brings that attention to it where it's like, okay, it's got to be talked about.
Yeah. Because like I said, I've said it 100 times before. I said it earlier. I've said it on podcasts before. I like his energy. I think his energy is awesome up until this point.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been victimless to this point. And I think it's just him being exuberant and, having super amount of passion. Like, I think in the past, it's been directed at inanimate things. There was no victim to what was happening. Now, direct victim. And that's not okay.
No.
That's just not okay. So for as far as the 24-month suspension, 12-month probation, I think it's completely deserved. I think he should. I don't think it should be any less. But unfortunately, I think that's the nail in his coffin.
Yeah.
I think that's the last nail in his coffin. Because he's in his 30s. He's known for having this pretty caustic personality. Now he's done it on a main stage in another country in front of some of the largest live crowds that we have. Like, he is going to be made an example.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to completely wipe him off. He's hard to work with as it is.
You sure? Yeah.
So, and I don't know the situation between him and West Side's parting, but they're probably wiping their brow going,
right.
at this point. So now that we've said that, what do you think about Clash?
Yeah, they came out immediately and said that they don't condone it, that they were aware of the situation. And they're kind of gaining some traction. New company this year. They're coming out with a lot of new discs and things. Nico was the only touring professional that I really knew that had any of their discs.
There's a few others, but
Is
yeah.
there? Okay. It kind of sucks it doesn't suck because you're trying to get your name out. It sucks that the situation happened and you're kind of tied to him. I think that you can cut ties and distance yourself and you'll be okay. You're still growing. You have a lot of time to grow. So if you cut your ties now, you're going to end up maybe better for it.
I think so. But it's like buying a beef cow and expecting milk out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a horrible example, but Nico is a known quantity. He's explosive. He has that caustic personality. You think about all those things. Do you think that Clash bears any of that responsibility, or that they should stand behind him, or playing devil's advocate?
Yeah, right.
Do you think any of that should fall on Clash?
No, because I think that they would probably be. We know what you're like when. I can just imagine when they're interviewing him or going through sponsorship. They know the type of person he is, type of player. Maybe they'd say something like, "We're a little cautious because we've seen this happen before, but we still want to work with you and help us get our name out there." But them saying that they don't condone it makes me think that this. I don't know if he's going to be on probation with them or they're just going to cut ties or
sever ties.
Yeah.
I think they should. I think they should sever ties completely, and I think they should move on to the next latest and greatest. I can't take credit for this, but if they want to, because Nico is their American market.
Sure.
That's who they're trying to capture. So.
Oh yeah, because I forgot they aren't an American company. They're Swedish, right?
So that was in their hometown, in their home country. That's their area, country. Anyways,
it's area, yeah.
Yeah, it's in their area. It's their backyard, basically. So why, I think you have to stand hard because I think the Europeans that are sponsored by Clash, that looks badly on them as well. I can't take credit for this. Ben Kay, him and I were BSing back and forth, and Mike Harrington and I, about this whole thing. We were going, I had 13 text chains going with those things. But Ben Kay said it would be a good idea for them to drop Nico and then start looking for a free agent in the American market, but someone would be cheap enough to get, but yet still have a pretty large impact, like Presnell or Fry or, these individuals are coming up, not these high name brands. If they can get a hold of them, they have that money to do that, go for it. But take some of these people that have just a good following, super stellar reputation, not known for any controversy, and take some of them. And they have that good, like a Dickerson. I mean, before this year, who knew Dickerson? You know, yeah, people knew Dickerson, but he wasn't a top 10 name. Well, he was a top 10 name, but as far as branding goes, he wasn't a huge name.
Sure.
Or like Conrad, he wasn't a huge name for branding until MVP got him. So who's that next guy?
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
That would be the person, because they're letting discs go like crazy. I mean, they're releasing discs like crazy.
Yep.
So I like that idea.
I do too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, like with Presnell and Fry, just to bring, you just mentioned those. I don't know what their contract situations are with Discraft at all, but
Right.
I mean, yeah, those would be two good guys to like kind of hitch your wagon to.
They'd be a good title for the episode. Clash. What to do now?
What did Tyler put? Something about Napoleon complex or something?
Yeah. Well, that's a real complex.
Yeah.
It's that small man complex, you know?
Right.
Man, I don't know. I feel bad for him because I've had one weird off-putting interaction, but it was because my poop stinked. Literally with Nico. And outside of that, like just passing him, he's just like every other pro. Like super bubbly, like talks with everybody. He's constantly jabbering on the, putting greens and stuff. So I've never, and Jordan had an awesome
at DDO last year. And
they made a joke like, good thing you didn't get into the van with him because he might. But no, I mean, real good interactions with him personally, and directly with some of our colleagues or friends, But man, like that's a national stage.
Yep.
Like
international stage.
International, exactly.
Yeah.
International stage. So, all right. So other sports. So something was brought up to us, like, hey, it happens all the time in other sports. Like players arguing with officials, and the most they get is they're out for that game.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if there's physical violence, obviously.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But with what Nico did, I think it just takes it to another level. So I do agree. I like the idea of the bantering back and forth with the official. Like the coach comes out of the dugout and, gets in the official's face. Or the batter doesn't like being called out, so he gets in the official's face. That type of stuff. Like, I don't know if I disagree with that. I think it brings action to it. Now, there's a difference between MLB, NFL, Major League Soccer. There's a difference between those because the amount of money that these guys are getting paid to officiate is crazy. It's a volunteer base in disc golf.
Yeah.
So they don't deserve that type of stuff. So I'm not condoning it yet, but we've had that take of basketball. Like, I would love to see the crap talk.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be so fun to see that stuff. But I think there has to be a time and a place for it. That wasn't the time or the place. And I think what Nico did is much different than saying, that's a horrible call. Come on, ref. And get out of my face. You want to do something about it?
Yeah, right.
Big difference between what they did. So, I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime the Major League Baseball getting the player, arguing with the ref, they get tossed. Rep manager comes out, they get tossed. I don't like it's weird in the NFL because NBA is probably the closest to Major League Baseball as well, like getting technicals or flagrant falls, arguing with the refs, you get thrown out. The NFL is different because that's usually a
Unsportsmanlike.
action against a player or maybe you accidentally touch the ref or something,
Or the ref backs into you.
Right, and
throws
also
a flag.
I've seen that happen plenty of times. And then only time you bench clearing brawls are the only time you'll see multiple game suspensions in soccer. If you usually if you get a red card, you're out that game and you might get the next game. If you accumulate enough red cards, you're out for an additional game or something throughout the season.
Right.
Same thing with flagrant or technical falls in the NBA. You accumulate so many, you have to sit out a game or something like that. So yeah, I mean, the only time I've ever seen longer suspensions for that is for drug use or betting,
Right.
for illegal gambling,
Like Pete Rose.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor guy. I think I like what happened. Let's get past the individuals involved. I like what happened. I like that an official called a rules violation. I like that there was someone other than the people on the card doing it. I like that process.
Yeah.
But with the way the sport is officiated right now, it should have never got to that. And I think now, case in point, we see why people aren't calling Nico on it.
Right.
Right there. Because we've seen it happen once before. You remember the Ricky foot fault at Memorial?
Right.
Where Ricky hit his disc and Nico called Ricky on it. And then when nobody else seconded, he went nuts. He went ballistic. Like, come on, nobody else. And then he talked about it for the next 2 weeks. Like,
there's a meme out there where like, this is the reason nobody calls Nico on stuff because they don't want to die.
Exactly. Like, and I get that. I mean, so, and it's been said out there multiple times that people they're afraid to call Nico on stuff. That's why they don't call him. I mean, Brody Smith said it out loud on one of the podcasts. Like, I'm not going to call Nico because I don't want to get in a fight. You know, like, I get it. I mean, we all play and hang around people like that where you kind of reserve your tone. Well, I don't, but there are people that will reserve their tone because they don't want to get in a confrontation. Like, I could care less for the most part. There's very few people that I reserve my tone around. But there are a lot of people that kind of set that atmosphere. And, you know, so I like the direction that it's going. Hopefully it sets a precedent. Yeah, precedent for the future of getting more officials out on the course to enforce some of these rules. And maybe the Pro Tour will take that, hold that banner and say, this is what we're going to do from now on. You know, we've talked about it before, where put 18 officials out there or 9 officials, they watch 2 holes or, you know, whatever it may be, or official per card where they just rock with the card. So hopefully they'll do that. I think it'd be awesome. So, and I think this is one of those Tinders that will Tinder boxes, not like the website Tinder.
Right.
One of those Tinder piles that will ignite this flame. So, do you want to talk about this anymore?
I think we're good.
Okay, me too. I'm kind of getting bored of it already. So, it's sad. Sorry, Nico. Like, you got to do some work to recoup your, you know, value after this one, in my humble opinion. So, all right. Do you want to do listener bag? Because we got about 12 minutes.
Oh, boy.
So,
I don't know if we have anything like lined. I mean, I think we got a couple.
Yeah, we got a couple. So, well, let's skip it. We'll do it. So, for those of you that have some listener bag for us, like if you're going to send us your bag, go ahead and send it to us. Still got a chance. I think we got about 3 or 4 more. We'll get to it next week. So, sorry, but not really. I really like the Nico conversation. So, here we go. Here's our random question. So, if there was one disc golf company that you could or would like to buy, which one would it be? Why? And what would be your first action as a new owner?
Are we just talking about disc manufacturers or just disc golf companies?
Just a disc golf company.
Holy
in
cow.
general.
Wow.
Speaking of disc golf company in general, what about IDEO? Where's our shoes, man?
Yeah, man. That's a good question. I think August.
Is it August now? Okay.
I don't know.
I've heard as late as September, so I'm not angry yet.
I mean, I've gotten emails asking for about addresses and things like that. I mean, they're supposed to be on a ship right now, or they get on the I heard they were on their way here. They have them. They're waiting to send them out. Like,
I thought I saw an update recently that they had them.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Or maybe it was that they were done and they were being shipped. Who knows? Anyways.
I don't know. It's been 2 years.
Yeah. It has been a long time. I know. I was like, because I bought 2 pair and I'm giving one to one person and then I have the one for me. And I was just like, dude, I told check it out, man. I got you a pair of shoes. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. 2 years later. Like, I swear I bought them.
Right. I hear they're working on another pair. They're working on a design for another model right now.
Are they really?
I think that's what I heard.
Oh my goodness. Are they going to crowdfund that one as well?
Maybe.
Jeez.
Okay.
All right. Man. So, one disc golf company you would like to buy. Which one would it be? Why? And what would be your first action as a new owner?
Man, it's hard as thinking of disc manufacturers. I don't know too many that are out there. I'd probably like to buy into Lone Star.
Okay.
I think they're small-ish right now, but growing. I think I just, as like owner, I'd want to just try to expand the dealership, like just reach out as far as I could. I mean, they still seem pretty regional. Like obviously, like Infinite's got them, like some bigger places, but just get yourself into like getting a little bit of more of a foothold in like regional spots, and then make a name for yourself, which they are, in Texas and growing out that way. Yeah, I think at them. I'd like to see IDEO.
Yeah, exactly.
My shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't know if like, I mean, obviously like Whale Sacks or someone like that comes to mind. Like they're already pretty big because like Eric and Tina have grown that company so much. They have so many pros with them. It's kind of hard to think about that. Like how do you, because like I'm not in the business mind, like I'm not thinking much of like how much more can I like do to change a company's ways about doing things, or like anything truly progressive at right now.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if it necessarily needs to be progressive or what. Like maybe it's just like, man, I really wish they would do something like this. So when I buy the business, that's what I'm going to do. Like I want this print, or with Whale Sacks, like I want to see, Captain Kitty Turd Ferguson on there or something like that. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, that was the name of my AP bio in junior high, was Captain Kitty Turd Ferguson of the SS Minnow.
What?
You know the dissecting cats that you do? That was his name, because we had to name him, and that's all I could think of.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why I thought of that.
That's funny.
So anyways, Captain Kitty Turd Ferguson. Yeah. And then we skinned him. And dissected and do all. He wasn't alive, folks.
That's crazy. You know what they should, I don't know why they do this, but it got me thinking. You were just talking about, not the Captain Kitty Turd Ferguson thing. Expanding, like, disc manufacturers getting more into, like, Asia. I don't understand why they only use, like, 150-gram discs.
So Japan, the reason they do that in Japan is anything that can be thrown and that is over 160 grams or higher is considered a weapon.
Oh, okay.
Now, just so you know, that rule is no longer in effect for Frisbees.
Oh, interesting.
So discs are A-okay now.
Yeah.
You can go to max weight again.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but that's in Japan. I don't know. Outside of that, I have no clue.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, it was one of those interesting things. So at Vegas, they had the 2019 or 2020 Japan Open. They were like doing a real big push, like giving these why can't I have these fastback frisbees, like smaller fastbacks that had the 2021 or 2020 Japan Open on them. I have two of them, and I was talking to the guy and I asked him, and that's why.
Got it.
He said, "Yeah, they're considered a weapon there."
Okay.
Like, really? Yeah, considered a weapon. So, yeah. So, did I hijack your?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You're
so,
good.
disc golf company I would buy. I would want Delta Cart.
Ah, yes.
I've said that many times. Yeah. This is my real one, Delta Cart. Why? Because their carts are awesome, and it is a dead, company, and there is a lot of animosity out there towards Delta simply because they just fold it up. There's a lot of money out there that supposedly needs to get back to people, but the reason why I would want them is because I feel that we could revive that brand or that cart in general. I wouldn't revive the brand. I would revive the cart.
Right.
And the first action would be to try to get Ricky back.
Nice. Catch it, yeah.
Yeah, but I would love to. Like,
there.
I've reached out to pros. I've reached out to so many people that used to rock Deltas. I've reached out to the owner, and no luck at all. Like, and I've even reached out to individuals that, like, a very specific pro that has tried to get Delta to actually purchase Delta and had conversation. And I was like, look, like, I'll do it. All you got to do is get the guy to say yes, and I'm off and running. Like, let's figure it out. And no. So I just can't get it, you know.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that has a relationship with the owner.
I was wondering, like, how long the patent on that is, where you could just go purchase the.
I don't think it was a patent.
No.
I don't think it was ever put under patent.
Okay.
So,
or anything like that.
yeah, I don't, or like a registered whatever they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it was ever put under anything. So I've always kind of joked about just going out and buying a used one and doing some
Deconstruction and like figuring out.
reverse engineering.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll get a wild hair and do it, but I would really like to do it a little more legitimately. And that's not that that's not legitimate. I mean, because obviously they haven't been made since what, 2018, 2017. So, and they're still probably one of the better carts out there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I saw someone using one like a couple of years ago, and I asked them about it. I was like, how long have you had this? I think it was Boone.
Yeah. Boone has one, and then there's a couple guys around here that have them. Not around like us, but in West Bend area, there's a couple guys that have them. And every time I see them, I'm like, oh, like, when is this guy going to pick it up?
Yeah.
And I was out in Vegas, and one of the guys that I was playing with had one.
Okay.
And it was amazing. I was just like, man, he goes, yeah, I've changed it. I'll do this and that. I was like, I wish I could get a hold of one of those, you know, or that guy. So, my fun one, more out of animosity's sake, is I'd like to buy factory store. Why? Because I think their business model is redonkulous. And my first action as a new owner would be, if you have an Innova account, you will be able to order from there.
Purely self-serve.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. But man, I still can't get over that. So we're 11 months and counting, folks, until we can get
Oh my God.
Team Series stuff. All right.
Jeez Louise.
Shop updates. We got DD restock coming in. The Socket Bob Slammers, they released a couple more. So we got some of those. There's a couple other things we got.
Those sold fast.
They sold real fast.
Yeah.
So we got some more coming in. And then I will officially, on our Instagram, door_disc_golf, I will get the 1,000 Instagram follower giveaway going. And we'll do something good. Last time we gave away a disc jockey.
Yeah.
We didn't give away the jockey.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gave away a disc jockey.
Right.
And this time I'll do something cool. I'm not sure exactly yet, but I will get it up this week. So, and we'll do the announcement next episode. And then I don't know if I have anything else.
Okay. That's fine by me.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, why not?
We are missing something, JP.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Your OnlyFans.
No, not mine. Mine's out there. You can find it. It's nothing. I take pictures of my toenails after I cut them. And then I send them out.
You're not bottling farts?
No,
I'm
not
surprised that's
bottling farts.
Gas Man.
So, all right. Well, JP's not giving his OnlyFans again. So, I guess from there, just keep it subpar and don't be a Nico.
That's pretty, yeah.
Pretty solid advice, right?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Peace.